So today we're going to cover Scout Rank 4B. We're going to show you the proper care of a rope by learning how to whip and fuse the ends of different kinds of rope. So let's get started. Okay, so we are going to talk about whipping and fusing ropes today. Now there's all kinds of different ropes out there, and here I got a few of them. This is a synthetic rope. It's made out of synthetic material, and it can fray, like you see there, on the ends if they're not taken care of properly. There's paracord, which the same thing. Paracord is just a sheath that covers several little fibers on the inside there. And then there's the natural rope. These are made of hemp, sisal, different materials, jute, that are natural materials that are just wound together until you come up with a rope, and you can see how easily they can come unwound. So what we're going to talk about is how we can prepare these so that they won't come apart on us. All right, so what we're going to talk about first is fusing. All right, so we're going to start by fusing some paracord. As you see here, this paracord is starting to fray. You've got the insides coming out, and we need to seal that off. So what we're going to do is going to melt all these fibers together along with the sheath that goes around them, and that's going to seal that off and keep that from fraying anymore. Okay, the way we're going to do that is we're going to use a candle. All right, I know a lot of people use their lighters to do that. I think that if I sit there and use a lighter the whole time, if I have to do a lot of these or a big rope, I'm going to burn my fingers by holding my lighter. So I prefer to use a candle to do that. So we're going to light a candle. And right here I got a piece of paper that I folded over a few times. What we're going to use this for is a lot of times when you see somebody fuse a cord, they'll use their fingers. Once it's nice and hot, they'll take their fingers to squeeze it. Well, you're going to burn your fingers, you're going to cause blisters. This stuff is going to melt to your skin, so you don't want to do that. So what we're going to do, once we get this warmed up, is we're going to put it in between the two sheets of paper, press down on it, and pull, and that's going to seal that off for us, okay? We're going to start by cutting this nice and flat across. All right. We're going to take it to the flame, melt it. Just hit it a little bit here and there. Try not to catch it on fire. If it does catch on fire, just have to put it out. Put it between the paper, push and pull. And you can see it is sealed off nicely. So now we don't have to worry about that coming undone. So that paracord has been fused, and that's how we do it. So now we're going to fuse this piece of rope. You can see the ends are fraying, and you can see the little cord on the inside coming through. So what we're going to do first is we're going to snip the end off so it makes it nice and smooth. It's going to fuzz off there. All right, so now we're going to warm that up. And once it's nice and warm, we're going to put it in the paper, push and pull it out. And we can see how that sealed that off nicely. So now we don't have to worry about that coming apart. And that's how you fuse synthetic rope. All right, let's whip some rope. So what we have here is some rope that's starting to fray at the ends a little bit. And what we want to do is find a way to hold it all together so that it won't come apart on us. All right? So what we're going to do is whip it. Now, there are some materials out there that can be used for whipping. This is whipping thread. It's a waxed cord is what it is. And it's very difficult to find. And chances are if you're out in the woods or camping and you need to whip the end of a rope, you're not going to be able to find this. So we're not going to show you how to use that. We're going to show you how to use twine. Every Scout trailer has twine in it, and this should be something easy for you to find. If not, you can cut up to I'd say a foot of your rope off. You can unravel it, and what you're going to find is twine. So you could use the rope itself to get the material to whip the rope. Okay. So you want to put your rope to get back together the best you can. You're going to take the twine and you're going to form a bite. And basically what that is a turn in the rope, just like so. You're not going to cross it over, it's just a turn, okay? You're going to take that and you're going to lay it on top of your rope. So you've got a loop, you've got 2 strands of twine, you've got a short little tail, and then a long working end. Once you get it all put together, you're going to take that working end and you're going to start to turn it. I'm going to come underneath and around. And you're just going to go around the rope. You're going to go around the twine and make your loop smaller and smaller as you come up. Now, how many turns should you do? Well, the amount of turns should be about 1 to 1.5 times the diameter of your rope that you're using. We're going to make this probably a little bit longer than that, just for demonstration purposes. But once you get to the point where you want to be, you take your loop and you're going to take your working end and you're going to go through the loop. Okay. And now you're going to start to close that loop by pulling on the tail. So you're going to start to pull on the tail. And as we pull on it, our loop gets smaller and smaller and smaller till we get to the point where that loop is about ready to take that working end of your rope and pull it under all the turns that we've done. And you want to pull it till about halfway. And once you get there, we go. Once you get there, you can take both ends of that whipping twine and pull it nice and tight. And there it is. All done. That's all there's to it. Now we're going to cut the twine off here, and we're going to cut the twine off here, and then we're going to cut the fray off the rope. And now you should have a rope that should stay together for a good long time. That's how you whip a rope. So here's a technique I like to use when I'm teaching multiple people how to do this. If you're showing how to whip with just one person, it's easy enough to put them right in front of you and show them what you're doing. But if you're going to try to teach 10 people how to do this all at one time, sometimes it's easier if you get a walking stick, a dowel, something a little bit larger, and rather than using really small pieces of floss or whipping string, twine, that kind of thing, you can actually get a piece of paracord, and you can use the paracord to show the technique. So we could pretend this is our rope, this is our whipping string, and we're gonna whip this just as like we would a rope. It's easier to see for multiple people, especially when you got 10 people all around you. It's just a little bit simpler. Also, this is something, if you do have a walking stick and you're looking to have a handle, something you can grab a hold of other than just the stick, this is a good technique to put a cushion or something on the grip on the end of your walking stick. So it has multiple uses. So what we're going to do, we're going to create our loop. So the loop that we've been using for everything else, we're going to use that same loop, and we're going to put it right on the dowel or the rope. Okay, just like so. And then we're going to start our wraps around. First wrap always is kind of the most difficult, but there you go. Once you get that first wrap, everything else gets a little bit easier. And just keep coming around each time. wrapping up the rope or up the staff. Again, if you're doing this for a rope and you're whipping, you're going to do, the length of your whip is going to be 1.5 times the diameter of your rope. In this case, if you're going to be doing it on a walking stick and you want it for your hand, you want to make sure that it's long enough to make your hand comfortable, make it a good grip. So since we're going to kind of make this a grip for our walking stick, we're going to go a little bit longer than what we normally would go. And you're probably, if you're going to do this for a walking stick, you're probably not going to want to tighten this real tight, each one of these loops, each time we go around, because you're going to have to pull this big thick paracord up underneath there to finish it off. Where with a whip of a rope, you'd be pulling it as tight as you can to help hold those fibers together. All right, once we get to the end or to the length that we want, and here I am out of paracord, so we're going to stop here. We're going to take the working end of our paracord, we're going to go through the loop. Okay, we're going to hold that so that it doesn't get away from us. We're going to pull the end. You can see how that loop will pull the paracord right underneath. Once you get it in about halfway or to a quarter a way through, you can pull both sides nice and tight. And there you go, something to grab a hold of on your walking stick. And it's the same technique that we use for whipping a rope. Now you would cut the paracord in those two spots, and you can actually flame that and melt those to the other ropes, and that will hold and stay for a good long time. That is the technique for whipping a rope shown on a teaching aid, especially if you're going to be teaching multiple people at one time. I hope this video was helpful. Please practice these skills, do what you need to do, and learn what you need to know. Once you have done this, you can show your accomplishments to your senior patrol leader or scoutmaster at a Zoom troop meeting, a text, an email, a video meeting, or whatever social media you use. Remember, when contacting an adult leader, to send the message to a parent or another adult. We must always practice 2-deep leadership, even when communicating virtually. You can also wait until you meet again as a troop to show off your skills. Remember, this pandemic is just temporary, and we will be back to normal soon, and you will be ready to meet the challenges of advancement. Scouting skills will serve you a lifetime, so learn them today.